Before you press play, let me warn you about something. What you are about to hear is not taught from pulpits, nor explained in depth in churches, because if it were, many people would not sleep in peace. Stay until the end. Only at the end will you understand why the rebellion of Lucifer still affects your life today. Before time as we know it existed, before dates, calendars, and any human record, there was a war, not on earth, but in heaven, and it was not a common rebellion. It was the first revolt of creation against its own creator. The Bible does not tell this story directly. It scatters it in fragments, in texts that seem disconnected, but are not. Ezekiel 28, Isaiah 14, Job 38, Luke 10, John 8, and Revelation 12 form a dark puzzle, as if God allowed only parts of the truth to be revealed, because the full truth is too heavy for the human mind. And that is exactly what we are going to reconstruct now. In Job 38, God asks a question that still echoes today. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. This passage reveals something many people ignore. Before the earth existed, there were already conscious, organized, intelligent, worshipping beings. There was hierarchy. There was authority. There was spiritual government. Ancient Hebrew traditions state that these beings were created outside human chronology, in a reality that precedes time itself. Heaven was already functioning. The universe already had order. Nothing was chaotic. And among these beings, one stood out above all the others. Ezekiel 20 begins by describing a human king. But at a certain point, the text breaks through the physical realm and enters the spiritual. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone covered you. You were an anointed cherub who covers. You were perfect in your ways from the day you were created, until iniquity was found in you. Men were never in the heavenly Eden. Men are not cherubim. Men were not created perfect. This text points to Lucifer. His name means bearer of light. He was not only beautiful, he was glorious by design, created to reflect order, authority, and splendor. Everything indicates that Lucifer exercised functions related to heavenly administration and worship. The stones that covered him symbolized position, honor, and closeness to the throne of God. He did not merely serve. He walked among the fiery stones, an expression used to describe the environment of the divine presence. But it was exactly in that place, at the highest point of creation, that pride was born. The silence that took over heaven was not peace. It was tension. Isaiah 14 reveals what happened inside Lucifer, not in gentle words, but as a thought exposed before the universe. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly. I will make myself like the Most High. This was the point of no return. It was not a mistake. It was not a doubt. It was a conscious decision. Lucifer did not want to worship. He wanted to be worshipped. He did not want to serve the divine government. He wanted to replace it. Ancient Hebrew tradition states that a third of the angels joined his cause, not by deception, but by persuasion. He did not rebel alone. He conspired. He whispered doubts. He planted questions. He turned admiration into loyalty. Revelation 12 describes this night as a literal war. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. It was not symbolic. It was not metaphorical. It was a real conflict in the spiritual realm. Jesus confirms this in Luke 10 when he says, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Lightning does not fall slowly. It is cast down. The fall was violent, sudden, and irreversible. Ezekiel 28 speaks again. Because of the multitude of your iniquities, I cast you to the ground. I exposed you before kings, that they might gaze at you. The highest among angels was reduced to an example of ruin. But here is the detail almost no one notices. Lucifer did not lose his existence. He lost his position. John 8 reveals that from that moment on he became a liar and a murderer from the beginning. Not because he was created that way, but because he chose that path after the fall. His nature was corrupted, not erased. It was in this state that he entered Eden, not as a king, but as an intruder. The rebellion did not end in heaven. It continued on earth. The same speech was used, the same strategy, to question the word of God, to offer knowledge in exchange for submission, and mankind fell. Since then, the world has lived with the consequences of a war that began before time. Every deception, every perversion, every system that rises against God carries the echo of that first rebellion. But the biblical record does not end with the fall. Revelation 20 shows the end. The same being who sought to rise will be cast into the abyss. There will be no new uprising. There will be no other war. The story begins with light, passes through rebellion, but ends with judgment. And all of this reminds us of a terrifying truth. The greatest danger in the universe was not born in darkness. It was born in pride.